will be reacting to some of the issues raised. The People's Democratic Party and some of the Nigerians are asking the National Assembly to override the president's decision not to assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill. Would they be able to do that? And if they do so, what does this mean for the perception of the president?
You can't drag me there without allowing me and now, respond to all the things that he said. Alhaji Galadima just got engaged in name calling without addressing the issues. He kept saying people wanted to keep their jobs and all those things he said. But he did not respond to what I said and what even Abdusalam Abubakar they said now, the retired general, about international protocols and the standard of credible elections. You don't sign new laws less than 6 months to an election. No response to that. All he was saying is name calling and all of that. However, let me tell Alhaji Galadima that the 2015 elections were adjudged to be free and fair. It was conducted under a law. That law is still extant. That law and the regulations made thereunder by INEC, which is full biometric accreditation, those things are still in place. And INEC is still very, anxious to go and, use full biometric, accreditation. What they are, telling the people, and the scaremongering they are involved in, is they are telling the people that card reader has been totally eliminated. That is not true. The Supreme Court did not outlaw card readers. It did not. It only talked about the fact that it cannot be a substitute for the voters' register. So we are still going to use the card readers. We are still going to use full biometric accreditation. Now, if the 2015 election were adjudged to be free and fair, what are they running away from? The point, again, the 2015 election, the 2015 act they are talking about, is an act that was passed by the PDP, a PDP president, a PDP, majority National Assembly at that time. So are they saying that they set booby traps in their own law then to rig, and they could not rig? Are they running away from the law that they passed themselves?
Mr. Keyamo, Mr. Keyamo, the question I asked about whether or not...
No, see, I've not responded.
Hold on, because of our time, so that we can address some of these issues. Just a moment, Mr. Keyamo. Let's just move to some of these issues. And the question is, the overriding of the president's decision, how would this play out?
See, I'll prefer to respond to all he said than go to new issues. He talked about full biometric accreditation. I was mixing it with electronic transmission. Let people know that full biometric accreditation with card reader is not the same thing as electronic transmission. We have never done electronic transmission. We did full biometric accreditation in 2015. That does not need network to transmit. I am telling you that the Kenya elections collapsed because of the provision regarding electronic transmission from the unit to the collation center. So he does not even know what he came here to argue about. He was mixing the two. Those two are two different things altogether. Now, as to overriding the president's refusal to sign, the same number that is needed to override the president's refusal, that is the same number that is needed to remove Saraki and Dogara to third. If they cannot get to third to remove Saraki and Dogara, they cannot also get to third to also override the assent of the president, the refusal of the president. It's the same number that is needed. So on the one hand, they are boasting that you cannot get to third to remove them as minority parties leading the House. And on the other hand, they are boasting that they can get the same number to override the president's veto. It is not just possible. They cannot achieve that number.
All right, let's close the program now. Alhaji Galadima, it's a difficult one, isn't it? And the question will be that, is your party afraid of anything going into this election?
Well, let me make two clearances quickly. One is that General Abdusalam, the former head of state, has said that not many Nigerians got what he said, that you cannot international protocol, not international law, said that you cannot sign a new electoral law 6 months to election without consensus of parties. Did these guys here, did they organize a consensus of political parties to advise the president not to assent to the bill. It was President's unilateral decision to do that. And because he knew he was leading the country into that, that is why since January, 10 months ago, he refused to assent to the bill. 2, that the card reader was used in 2015, and General Buhari became a beneficiary. Next to God, it was the card reader that made him president. But what Nigerians do not know is that the card reader is not known to a Nigerian law. It was only used. It cannot be tendered in court. Therefore, we want to make it justiciable by making it part of our laws.
Alhaji Galadima, we're out of time, obviously. Obviously, we're out of time. Alhaji Galadima. No, hold on. We're out of time. Hold on. Alhaji Galadima, we're out of time. But I will allow Mr. Keyamo to give his final words just in 20 seconds. Mr. Keyamo, your final words in 20 seconds, please, so that we can close.
Yes.
Mr. Keyamo, please go ahead. 20 seconds, we need to close.
We have got the number.
Alhaji Galadima, we need to close. We've heard yours. We need to hear him just in 20 seconds so that we can close. Sorry,
They
just
are not talking of the country.
so that we can maintain order and we can close the program. In 20 seconds, Mr. Keyamo, give your final thoughts, please.
My final thought is this. The card reader is the Waterloo of the PDP. They are grandstanding. Before the 2015 elections, PDP won all 80% of elections in this country without the card reader. After the card reader was introduced, they lost 80% of all elections. That is how you know who is rigging. So I'm telling you now, that it is their Waterloo. We want it to be, we want it, but it will cause confusion. It will cause confusion. And it is the Waterloo.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time on the program.
We want the card readers.
We are definitely out of time,
INEC is
Mr.
determined
Keyamo.
to still use it for elections.
Thank you so much. I must sincerely thank both of you for coming. Alhaji Buba Galadima and Mr. Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time tonight on the program. That's our show tonight, everyone. Indeed, an interesting conversation. So that's how we leave it. I'm Sean Kimbaloye. Bye-bye.